join the Empath Toolbox. And today we're going to just pick her brain, ask her 1,000 questions. I want to thank you so much for being a part of the Empath Toolbox. I love, love, love your products. I know they have been used in a few retreats that I've attended. So we're going to talk a little bit about you, how you started this beautiful journey, your product. I want to share a little bit about how they've blessed me. I know you've made custom teas for us. You've made some beautiful candles, some amazing smelling candles. Also your spritzer. So we're going to get into all her amazing products. But first, how did you get started doing this? Like, why did you just say one day, let me see what this weed does? Like, what happened?
Yeah, so I kind of had, when I was a kid, I always was in the gardens with my mom and my grandmother and my sisters. And so that kind of just started, a long path of herbal knowledge. And so, yeah, when like around 2016, I was living in San Francisco at the time, and I, had, stumbled upon a school called the East West School of Herbology, and they're located in Santa Cruz, and it's actually Leslie and Michael Tierra, who are kind of famous herbalists in the West here. And yeah, I decided they have a ton of certificates that you can take. And so I took one of them, and it was like a 2 long-year program.
Wow.
Gosh, we learned like over 500 herbs or something crazy. So it was super intense. And yeah, so then I kind of really started to get serious about it and thought it'd be fun to kind of open my own little business. So yeah.
For sure. It looks a lot. You make it look like a lot of fun. I know tons and tons of work, lots of labor, love, and tears go into your products. I love how you share your little behind the scenes when you're sharing how it is that you create your beautiful essences. And we're going to have you create some of those for us so we can share with everyone here. So why do you think it's so important that people understand that there is alternative ways to heal your body? I know a lot of it has to do with people just don't know that you even exist. And also, I want to add that I'm glad you shared that it was a 2-year course, because now you can buy a certificate online to be an herbalist and, cost $25. And that's what it is, right? But because it's kind of, unfortunately, people don't really know what they're getting. So you bring all this experience from the time you were a kid, learning from your grandmother and your mother, and now literally made it your life's work. So again, thank you for that. And so let's talk a little bit about why it is that you believe it's important for people to have a better understanding of what herbalism is and the importance of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's really like part of my mission, right? Is to educate and sort of just empower individuals. With our society the way it is today, I think a lot of people have, just kind of grown up in the city life, and that's kind of all they know. And sometimes, connecting to like your natural roots isn't always available in those types of environments. And so, yeah, I do think it's important to get back to that, to learn about it. And, there's a lot of empowerment and just in the ability to do things for yourself when it comes to preventative care. And so that's just really powerful. And yeah, it's definitely important, I think.
What type of common things do you see with your clients that reach out to you that need something? Like, what exactly do they reach out to you for? Give us an example of what that looks like.
Yeah, some things are very simple, like your general cold and flu herbal remedies. So I make a lot of like teas, tinctures, things like that people can purchase. But I'm also huge on just educating for themselves. So they're a good example is like elderberry syrup. You can get that anywhere. You can make that yourself. It's pretty easy thing to do, but super powerful when it comes to like colds and flus, especially right now. So yeah, those are some examples. Uh, yeah, especially like I guess it's also pretty seasonal too. So like in the winter, I get a lot of questions about just dryness. So there's a lot of soaps that I make that help with skin. And then I also make some salves and things like that that are also really helpful for like psoriasis, just very dry, chapped skin, stuff of that nature. And yeah, I think there's also some more like serious things that might come up, where someone might be diagnosed if they're, they come to me with wanting to know more about how they can support just their overall health with herbal supplements and get more on that preventative type of care. So,
Okay. So you have, I know that you make custom formulas because I know that the retreat
mhm.
that I attended, you made a custom tea. It was a blend of like 7 or 8 different herbs. And, I love that you already know what goes in there and how to combine those things, because the rest of us would be researching like crazy, especially because we know that many times, unfortunately, when you buy, store-bought stuff, like you mentioned, the elderberry, you can buy it anywhere, but we don't
Mhm.
really know how it's sourced. And that's kind of, a little scary for a few of us that start finding out about all the chemicals that are involved and, the
Yeah.
labor and how they, acquire the labor and all that good stuff. And I know you had mentioned that you were growing some stuff in your backyard. What are you currently growing, or what have you grown in the past that you have been able to pretty much watch grow and, nourish
Yeah.
somebody's body?
Yeah, I tried well, I do a couple things. There are lots of like common things that you can make just from an herbal perspective. So your uh like common garden herbs, if you will. Those are super easy, but I tried to also grow the weird thing. So
Yes.
last summer I grew some belladonna, and it's a toxic plant, so you don't want to use it in too many things, but it's super gorgeous, beautiful plant. But you can also use it for a lot of different things. So in moderation, of course. So I like to kind of dabble in the weird plants. But yeah, we've been sort of planning for this summer. My mom has like a huge garden, and we no matter where I am, we try to make her her garden my foraging patch. But
Love it.
yeah, just a lot of like flowers that I can use and take medicinal and use them in a medicinal way, I should say. But yeah, it's also fun to just see like what's in your backyard. Like are lots of common weeds that are very medicinal. They have a lot of powerful medicinal properties that we have no idea about. And so, yeah, like dandelions, people spray those.
Yeah, I
You can
was
do
gonna
that.
say.
And you can use the leaves in your salads, and the root has a lot of medicinal properties. So there's just a lot of things that we overlook from day to day.
Yeah, I love that you share that you like to educate people, and I'm looking forward to your creation of classes that I want you to start educating us in. And it's so much fun because it's funny how you mentioned dandelion, like somebody had recommended, you should take dandelion root or whatever. And I'm Googling and I order this tea and it's growing in my backyard. I'm like, first of all, I don't even know what the heck to do with it because it's growing in my backyard. And how funny that I'll go and purchase something off of, Amazon
Right.
or whatever, but scared to eat a root that's in my backyard. And it's because of, the lack of knowledge. So if you can educate us on, hey, you know what, this is a common weed that grows, for example, I'm in a high desert. If it looks, if you go on a hike and if you see this, try making a tea or whatever. And I do believe that empowers people to take healing into their own hands. A lot of what we do, again, is because we're unaware of, the fact that there are more natural remedies. And in the work that I do, there is a lot of emotional, trauma. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on in your work, and the things that you create align perfectly to help people integrate those things into their life. Because if they take something that's, a pharmaceutical that has a bunch of side effects or whatever, and, it's taking care of some symptoms, but it's not actually taking care of, the root cause for many of the ailments. And we
Mhm.
know that the body does take on a whole bunch of physical ailments because of emotional reasons that haven't been addressed yet. And I share that because the tea that you did prepare in this retreat was very much to help people relax, be
Mhm.
serene. They were doing energetic work, there was meditation, and the tea was just perfectly aligned with the work that we were doing. And, I know that you infuse your products with a whole bunch of love and your beautiful energy. And I know that just makes it that much more awesome, right? But if people have a better understanding of what that is, like the soaps that you create, she doesn't just slap ingredients together and puts them in a mold,
Mhm.
right? And I'm excited to share, like, your Instagram and your Facebook where you have all your products. I mean, you infuse them with crystals, you make oils, and So you have this beautiful copper little contraption that I've seen, and I keep talking about it. I'm so excited. And I mean, just seeing your presentation itself, right? And, knowing that you put that hard work into it, but with so much joy, I know that the products are just infused with all of it, the crystals, the herbs, the time you take to make everything, and the beautiful way that you wrap everything, even the wrapping, right? You're very conscious of the environment. So thank you for the work that you're doing. And I'm so excited that people will get to know you better, understand the whole, purpose behind you doing what you do. And honestly, I mean, when I first got a product, it was like a little candle that was given at this retreat. And there was just something about the color and the packaging. And I can't explain it until you guys get one, you'll understand. But the way you simplify, a candle, get it, it's just, again, it's in alignment with the work that we were doing at that particular time. And so if you'll be watching that, you've bought store-bought candles and, you've dealt with all, yes, they smell okay, but there's actually a lot of studies that show that it does kind of messes with your hormones, right? And it's not to scare anybody. It's just, for education purposes, that we can get candles. Oh my gosh, it smells so good, but they're not necessarily therapeutic. What they're doing instead is kind of messing with the chemicals in your body. And the reason is because, we come from the earth. So like when Ashton makes her herbs and her, all her spritzers and her soaps, she comes from the earth, creates from the earth with no to very little chemicals in it if we have to use them, right? Because sometimes there's preservatives, right, whatever you want to call it. But, once your body takes it in, your body totally understands what it is because it resonates with that frequency, right? So if you go purchase any old products, it has alcohols and colorings and a bunch of stuff, and your body's like, what the heck? What is this? So your body goes literally through a shock to try to figure out what it is. And many people are experiencing different physical ailments because of the products they're putting on their skin. And a lot of people don't know, Ashton, right, that our skin is our biggest organ. And everything you put on your skin, your bloodstream, it literally absorbs, So I know when I found that, I tried not to freak out. I did a little bit, but I tried not to freak out. And then when I found out about the body sprays, that, major companies sell and how all the chemicals were literally messing with us. Now it's very difficult. Like my husband will wear a certain deodorant or my daughter, and I'm like, you guys need to like not do that. But then I kind of try to mind my business and respect their journey. But I just know that I had to go through a major detox just because of the perfumes and spritzers and, air fresheners and candles that I was using. So again, loving that you're going to educate us more on what that is. Share a little bit more about your experiences and what you have created products for, because I know people have reached out to you. So what type of services? I did see that you have a monthly subscription for your products. You have a create your own box. So could you tell us more about that?
Yeah. So a little context for those. I also am really an astrology nerd. So
Yeah, I was hoping you bring that up.
Yeah. Like kind of what you were saying, I definitely like all my products are very much alchemized. There's a lot of thought and planning that goes into literally everything, but that's part of it. So yeah, I have a monthly subscription box called Unveil the Future, and there's a lot of astrological ties to it. Again, love to educate people. So there's a little card in there that kind of goes through like the lunar and upcoming astrological transits. Just for a fun little free thing that you can put on your fridge or your desk or wherever. But yeah, they're very much curated towards the season. So everything in the box kind of helps is thought about in a way that can help you sort of transition with the seasons basically. So yeah, they're all kind of focused around the equinox and the solstices, and yeah, they're a lot of fun, lots of unique products that go in there, and some old good trusty faithful products too.
I love how you
it's
go ahead. Okay, I'm sorry about that. You broke up a little bit. It's a what now?
Oh, it's just a fun little way to kind of like tie it all together. So yeah.
And I guess that's why the packaging, I mean, I don't know. I guess when I look at it energetically, it's just a beautiful thing and I can't explain it, but the packaging, I can tell you put a lot of love into your packaging. Some is so some is so simple, and I'm just kind of like, wow, why did I make so happy just looking at it?
Yeah.
And I love also, Ashton, that you mentioned seasonal. Importance of things being in season, it's not mass produced, that it wasn't, created somewhere it shouldn't have been created. And
Right.
again, that exactly how she mentioned, how she alchemizes everything to be in harmony with your body, your mind, and I can add the spirit as well, because they all come together to want to heal, to want to embrace. And unfortunately, there isn't that many products out there that are not being mass produced, right? So I love that you create everything in your home and that you are growing it in your own garden and things of that nature. So it's super, super a big deal, I know, in my book for sure. So how would they go on there and create these boxes? And another question prior to you answering that, are you available for consultation? So like me, for example, right? I need something, it's the winter, I normally drink a lot of water, my skin's fine, but whatever I'm using right now isn't working the best way. So it's probably time for me to switch into something. So are you available for consultations? Like, hey, Ashton, my skin's a little dry, I do try to stay hydrated. What would you recommend, right?
Yeah, definitely. I totally do consultations. I do have a website, so everything is on there. You can purchase the Unveil the Future boxes there as well. But yes, I also offer yeah, just consultations as well as astrological natal chart readings as well. So yeah, just feel free to reach out and book a time, and we can kind of go through sort of an intake session. Tells me a little bit more about what's happening for you and your experience. And then, yeah, I usually can formulate something pretty quickly and totally curated to what's going on with the person. So yeah.
Awesome. Yes. And I know that people would love that custom approach as well, because personalization is a beautiful thing. That's awesome. Okay. So we're going to post all your social media links, the website as well. What is your website?
Yep, it's www.moonfarmaherbalapothecary.com. It's a little there, but yep.
I'll put it on there. I just want to hear you say it because it sounds so nice, but we're going to put it on the description. So reach out to Ashton if you guys have any questions. She looks a little shy this morning, but I'm excited that she's here. I'm sure she has a world of knowledge to share with us. So I'm looking forward to future meetings, classes, and receiving your products. Have an amazing day, sweetie. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks, Velia.
Alrighty. Bye.